Hi guys, welcome back to Geeks and welcome to our latest 40k battle report. The Imperium of Man is beset on all sides by the forces of Chaos and Xenos, and the Space Wolf scouting party has managed to come across quite a nasty force of Tyranids that have working their way across this planet, and it's down to the Space Wolves to put a stop to them. Today's battle report is being filmed up in our sponsor's store up in Southport, Wargames. It's a beautiful board that we are playing on. I'm really looking forward to taking on Martin's Tyranids today. The mission that we are doing is Emperor's Will, so we have one objective marker each down in the Tyranids deployment zone. Popping up by one of their foul growths out of the planet is their objective, and the Space Wolf's objective is hiding down in the back of the forest. HQ and Warlord for the Space Wolves today. I am taking my Iron Priest. This guy's equipped with a Hellfrost pistol, a Thunder Hammer, and is riding around on his Thunderwolf mount. He has Saga of the Beast Slayer as his Warlord trait, so he has Monster Hunter, which might come in handy today. Over to troops, I'm taking a 10-man Grey Hunter squad. In here there is a Power Fist and a Plasma Gun, and they are in a Rhino. Second Grey Hunter squad, exactly the same loadout, again in the Rhino. Into fast attack, I am taking my Thunderwolf Cavalry. There are 6 guys in here. All of them have Storm Shields, 2 Thunder Hammers, 2 Power Fists, and 2 Chain Swords. So these guys will be joining the Iron Priest, hopefully galloping across the battlefield and getting into the Tyranids nice and easy. And for the very first time, I am running the Wolfen Murder Pack formation. So I've got my 2 squads of Wolfen here. There are 2 with Storm Shields and Thunder Hammers in each squad, and then 3 with Frost Claws, and they've also got the little launchers on their backpacks as well. So that is my 1,500 points of Space Wolves.
Hi guys, so this is the Tyranid force Richard's going to attempt to take on today, and we'll start off with our HQ unit, which unsurprisingly is a flying hive tyrant with twin leak brain leech devourers. He's also got regeneration because I needed to spend the points basically. Moving across to troops choices, we've got a Tervagon with the troop tax of 30 gaunts. We've then got 15 gaunts, Homer gaunts, and then 2 units of 5 Gene Stealers. Into heavy support, we've got a Morlock. We've also got an Exocrine. Obviously gets the choice of how he's going to shoot. In Elites, we've got 2 Venom Thropes, which gives us all our cover shenanigans. And then in fast attack over here, we've got our Hive Crone. Stock Hive Crone, no upgrades or anything to it. We've got the Tyrannocyte, which we haven't decided exactly what's going to go in there yet. So something off this force will start the game inside there and coming from reserve. And then for our little bit of nastiness, we've got the Dimmercaren, who's another fast attack choice and is absolutely lethal in combat if she ever gets there.
The first of my Rhinos and Tactical Squad are hunkered down behind the forest on the left-hand side of the battlefield. They're looking possibly at zooming up at some point for the objective, but there's a lot of nids in the way. Next to them is the first of the Wolfen Squad. Obviously, Storm Shields at the front, Frost Claws behind, nicely buried down in the forest. They're close enough to the Thunderwolf Cavalry to give over the nice little traits that Wolfen do onto my Thunderwolf Cavalry that are kind of just off centre of the battlefield. But again, the second of the Wolfen squads are over on the, well, now the middle ground, but close enough again if I need to give the bubble off over here. You know, if I pull this first squad out of line. And then finally, for the Wolves, we have the second of the Rhinos with the Grey Hunter squads in, sitting on our objective. Due to the Warlord traits, most of this army is infiltrated. So the Gene Stealers are right up close. These guys are 18 inches away from the Space Wolves line. That's always slightly scary. We also have the Flying Hive Tyrant really, really close. Towards the back of the battlefield, we have the Venom Thrope and the Hormigants. So these guys are going to be foot slogging it across the board, but I've got enough to contend with everything else that's close and in my face. The Exocrine has also moved forward, and also the other Venom Thrope has as well, which is, yeah, they're really close now. That's quite horrible. On the left-hand flank of the battlefield, we have the termagants and the Turvagon at the back over there, ready to deposit more of these things on the board for me. And then finally, we have the second squad of Gene Stealers looking possibly at coming up through the forest. They've got a choice of targets over here for the Space Wolves. So it is Tyranids to go first, unless I can claim first turn. Oh, which I don't. So the Nids are on their way. They are now coming across the battlefield and quickly. Gene Stealers have moved up, Termagants have moved up as well, being followed up obviously within the Synapse range. The Venom Thropier is actually kind of inside the building, but he doesn't kind of fit, so we've put him to the side just so we know. Flying Hive Tyrant is up in the sky. The other Gene Stealers are now working their way towards the Grey Hunters inside the Rhino. The Hormigants have moved and they've ran as well, but their bounding leap means they get an extra 3 inches, and Martin rolled a 5, so they're really up now, getting close up. This guy kind of struggled to get out of the forest, so he's within 6, but he's lagging behind a little bit. The Space Wolves have got to survive a round of shooting before they can come into combat and retaliate. The first of the Gene Stealers have ran. They're now deep into the forest looking at getting some cover. These guys also have Feel No Pain, because during the psychic phase, the psychic power that gives these guys Feel No Pain went off, and so's the Flying Hive Tyrant. He's got no Feel No Pain as well. That's really helpful from my point of view. He opened up at the Thunderwolf Cavalry, killing one off and doing a wound on a second. One of the Wolfren guys has taken a wound, and that was due to the 6 shots from the Exocrine coming in, landing and hitting hard. But I managed to save one. I managed to save them all apart from the one, which is a little bit annoying to be honest, but never mind. The other Wolfren squad were opened up at by the Termagants. Lots and lots of shots, and I've lost one of my Storm Shield guys right at the front. So they are down a cover, but I'm gonna have to move them and run them, and then try and get them into assault. And then the other squad of Gene Stealers have also moved up and ran as well, and they're getting closer and closer. We have some more Termagants on. They've been spawned, and they've also moved across a little bit. That was 12 of these this turn. Kind of hoping there's no more of these appearing. The Rhino is reversed up, the Grey Hunters are out, so they're looking at rapid firing the Gene Stealers with as many shots as possible, hopefully killing a few of these guys off. Wolfren squad has moved up. I'm obviously going to run these. Thunderwolf Cav have moved up through the forest. I did take a wound as I went through, which is a little bit annoying. And because of the Wolfren table, they're on hunt mode, so they gained Relentless Ferocity, which means I get D3 extra attacks for charging rather than just your standard 1. The second Wolfren squad have moved up. Again, these guys are going to run. And finally, the Rhino and the second Grey Hunter squad are out, looking at putting their shots into the second of the Gene Stealers. That was a poor round of shooting from the Space Wolves this turn. The Grey Hunters opened up at the Gene Stealers, doing quite a few wounds, but all of them were saved by Martin, so these guys are fine and are in the woods, and they're going to rip my face off next turn. The Wolfen opened up with their grenade launchers right back here. The Exocrine, no damage done. Hellfrost pistol opened up over there as well, no damage done. The other launcher, or the grenade launcher from the Wolfen, opened up at the Gaunts. 2 wounds, saved because of the Venom Thrope in here with his little bubble of annoying the hell out of me. And then finally the second Grey Hunter squad down here and the Rhino opened up at the next Gene Stealer squad. All dead apart from one. This little guy is alive, and again he's probably going to rip my face off. We've got some combat charge rolls, so I'm taking my Wolfren into the Gaunts, which is probably going to tie them up, but 30 Overwatch shots could hurt. Wolfen, I can't see him because he's inside the building, so it was a 12-inch charge. We're going to attempt it, but the Wolfen are also going to try and get in there as well. The Thunderwolf Cavalry and the Wolfen did not make it into combat, so when we measured it up, the Thunderwolf were just out when you take in the terrain. The Wolfen make it on a 10 and rolled a 9. Yep. That's how close that was to going in, but they failed to make their charge. Over here, the second of the Wolfren squad made it in and killed off 12 of the Gaunts. There's still about 30 million of these little gits left, and I am going to slowly chomp my way through them next turn. First, the reserves are in. The Tyrannocyte is hit down onto the planet's surface, dropping off the small cargo of the Dimmerkaren. I'm slightly scared by this guy. I know that he's a beast in combat. Yeah, if my Thunderwolf Cav and my Wolfren survive, they're going to go in, but we've got Hormagaunts coming across, we've got shots, we've got 9 more Gaunts on the table as well. They're looking down and putting shots into the Thunderwolf Cav. Grey Hunters down here have got to overwatch the hell out of these Gene Stealers, otherwise these guys will probably end up being dead. One remaining Gene Stealer down here is going to look at the Grey Hunters. We're going to have to overwatch him to death as well. There is no first blood yet, so maybe this guy will give it up if my Space Wolves survive what could be a nasty round of shooting. And the Gaunts that appeared last turn are going to join into combat with the Wolfen down here, just basically tying them up probably for the rest of this battle. One thing I forgot to mention is the Flying Hive Tyrant is flying around the board, looking at putting down some Psychic as well, so I've got to contend with this guy. The Tyrannocyte that came in last turn has opened up. It has taken a hull point off this Rhino down here. Its other guns have opened up at the Wolfen, doing another wound down there. Opened up at my Iron Priest, no damage done there. The little Gaunts that came in last turn opened it up, but the Thunderwolf Cavalry managed to pull one down. The front guy was on 1 wound, so that's 1 less over there. The Flying Hive Tyrant opened up as well, putting another wound on the Thunderwolf Cavalry. There's been a lot of shots into these guys this turn. The Excrete has opened up at the Wolfen as well, killing one of the shield guys off. Managed to save, I think it was 4 wounds. I managed to save 3 of them, but 1 went through, killing him off down there. So yeah, there's been a lot of punishment on these. They've been whittled down quite harshly. There's going to be assault going in there. We still have this little matter down here to resolve, and then obviously got to put up with the Gene Stealers going into the Great Hunters on the right hand flank, and the one remaining Gene Stealer down here. Is he going to go into the Grey Hunters, or is he going to be a coward? The Gene Stealers on the right-hand flank made it into the Grey Hunters. They killed 6 off, but I managed to kill off 4 in return. There is 1 guy left down here. Over in the centre ground, Hormagaunts made it in to the Wolfen down here. They managed to kill 1 off. I killed off a truck-ton load of them, but they're still surrounded. We're still there, locked in combat. And the only other combat to happen this phase, because this guy is a coward, was down here with the Wolfren and the Termagants down here. Again, the Termagants managed to do 1 wound and pull down one of the Wolfren. Obviously with Death Frenzy, they all hit, and he hit twice. And again, killing off, I think it was about 6, 7, 8, something like that, are all dead. But there's still a big pile of little nids down there. It's getting messy. Not much to move this turn for the Space Wolves. The Rhino and the Grey Hunters are after the lone Gene Stealer down here. It is first blood. I think I'm going to need that. I think it's going to be important. So these guys are going to open up with their bolt pistols, trying to kill him off. If they don't, they're going to have to go into combat to do it. And the only other thing to move this turn, everything else is locked in combat, is the Thunderwolf Cavalry and the Iron Priest. They're going to have to go after this big scary Nid. I need him off the board. He's going to rip me apart. There is a chance that these guys will be killed. But if they manage to pull this guy down, it is a big victory for the Wolves, and it will help lighten the load. Hellfrost pistol from the Iron Priest has opened up at the Dimmerkaren, taking a wound, but he managed to pass his strength test, otherwise it had disappeared off the board. The Stormbolters from the Rhino from the Grey Hunters managed to open up with Snapfire's hit and wound. He did 6 twice, and I pulled it off. The Hive Tyrant has taken a wound down here, but passed his grounding check. And then the Grey Hunters opened up with their bolt pistols down here, and the plasma pistol, and or the plasma gun, and killed off the one remaining Gene Stealer. So it's first blood for the Space Wolves with combat. Got the Wolfen down there, Grey Hunters, and the Thunderwolf Cavalry going in. So the Gene Stealer down here fell to the Grey Hunters in close combat. That's the second squad of them gone. It's a small little victory for the Space Wolves, but I will definitely take that. Over here, Thunderwolf Cavalry made it into combat. We did 2 wounds to no damage back because the Storm Shields managed to earn their points in this round of combat and save my guys. During the regeneration though, this big nasty bugger managed to grow a wound back, which is always helpful, and so did the Flying Hive Tyrant, so yay. Down here, the Wolfen with the gaunts killed off another bucket load, but there's still quite a few left. I think I killed off about 9 or 10 of them. We lost count, we were just pulling them out. And then the final Wolfen squad in combat down here managed to see off the Hormigans and are free. I've taken them forward into the trenches for a little bit of cover, looking at going into the Tyranids back lines now and hopefully killing some of these guys off. And then we'll have to worry about this big nasty next turn. The Tyrannocyte has moved up into the middle of the board. He's going to get as many shots off with these cannons as he can. The Venomthropes are up and both of them are out now, looking at putting in the hurt onto the 2 remaining Wolfen. More Gaunts, 6 more have spawned this turn. More pain, more shots coming in. I think we might be waving goodbye to these 2 this turn. Over here, the Hive Tyrant is up in the air. It's looking at getting Psychic Shriek off on both the Wolfen and the Grey Hunters squad, but the Grey Hunters have got to concentrate on the Hive Crone, which is now in. It's going to flame them. It's going to do some nasty shenanigans to them. So it's going to be a painful turn for the Wolves. Let's go see how much survives at the end of shooting. In the Psychic phase, Feel No Pain's gone off again, so the Flying Hive Tyrant's got it, and so has the Dimicarian. So that's going to be a problem in combat. In shooting, 1 more Wolfen has gone down here. Just lots and lots and lots of shots. It was actually the Gaunts that actually killed him off. Brilliant. Love it. And down here, the Flyer that's just come on, flamed them, killed off 4, and the Flying Hive Tyrant opened up as well, killed off another 5. So there's 1 guy left. Just the 1. He has passed his leadership though. So we're going to head off into combat. Only 2 to resolve this turn. Are the Wolfen going to free themselves up from this just never-ending churn of death that are the Gaunts down here, and then obviously the Thunderwolf Cavalry with the big nasty Gribbly. The Dimicarian in combat has killed off the 3 remaining Thunderwolf Cavalry. I did take about 3 or 4 wounds off him, but Martin's just regenerated 2 of them. The Iron Priest is unhurt at the moment. Yeah, it's tough. This guy's quite tough to get rid of the board. It'd be nice if he dies. Down here, the Wolfen took the assaults from the Gaunts and the Venoms, but he split his attacks, and I've put 1 wound on each of the Venomthropes and taken 1 wound myself. So we are locked in combat down here. But I think the big news of this turn was the Termagant went into combat with the Wolfrin. Wolfrin hit and put all of the attacks onto that. It died, it exploded, it killed off the first squad of Gaunts. The second squad of Gaunts lost, I think it was like 4. And then also within 12 inches of the explosion was these guys down here, so they lost 3 as well. So the Gaunts is... they've been thinned out, and it just depends how that affects Synapse, especially all around here, to what effect it has on the Nids this turn. In the shooting phase, these 2 guys opened up at the Flying Hive Tyrant, but I didn't get any 6s. That was quite a painful round of assault. My Wolfrin squad that are in with the Gaunts is down to 1. The Thunderhammer guy is left. Basically, this guy whiffed all of his rolls, did no damage to these Gaunts, and the Frost Claws was pulled down. Yeah, that went quite badly, but not as bad as the combat down here with the Wolfen. So he got hit at initiative 6 thanks to the Venoms and was killed. He did do his Death Frenzy, killing 1 of them off. And these guys have all consolidated up 6 inches. So this middle of the board is now down to the Nids. The Dimicarian is free. He's running around. He killed off the Iron Priest. He had 3 instant death hits, and I failed all of them. So the Iron Priest was pulled down quite painfully. He's now heading over to the Grey Hunters on the objective. The Rhino has gone. A big nasty made it in and quite made easy work of it. His hammer of wrath doesn't do anything, but then again, he doesn't need them when he's got like 50 million attacks coming at you. So the Rhino's gone. Down here, the one remaining Grey Hunter with the Power Fist has also fallen. He was killed by the Flying Hive Tyrant. The Rhino has been taken down a hull point as well, and that was from the Hive Crone, firing his missiles at it. Down here, the Wolfman is still alive. He's in combat. Still only managed to kill off like 2 or 3 that turn. So we're still there. That has been a tar pit of doom all game. With the Synapse in this turn, the Venom Throat has had to go in to find cover. So have these Gaunts down here. And then the Exocrine has fallen back. He's quite close to the board edge, but didn't make it off. It's pretty much game over now for the Space Wolves. I think Martin really wants to kill off the last of the Wolfen. The Rhino opened up with his Storm Bolters at the Flying Hive Tyrant, trying to do some damage, and I managed to hit twice, but no wounds. Down here, the Wolfen took no damage at all, and then only managed to kill off 3 of the Gaunts, so 2 are left. Brilliant. We're going to go over to Martin's last turn, because he wants to table me, and I'm feeling generous. The Rhino has gone. It's been pulled down. It was joined in combat by the Hive Crone, and that just basically took off the rest of the hull points and killed that. In good news, well, kind of good news, my one Wolfen is still alive. He was joined in combat by the Flying Hive Tyrant and the other squad of Gaunts, but he held his own. He made all of his saves with his Storm Shield, but managed to whiff all of his rolls. He put them on the Warlord choice, trying to kill him off, but no damage done. So there we go then, guys. That is the end of the game. Turning up the victory points, it is 5 victory points to 1 to the Tyranids. Not really a surprise when I've only got 1 Wolfen left on the table. I got First Blood. Martin has 1 of the objectives down in the Space Wolves half. He also has Slay the Warlord and Linebreaker as well. So 5-1 doesn't sound that bad, but that was so close to a tabling. But with this one guy left alive, that doesn't happen. So then, guys, we're just going to do our quick little post-game review. I'm joined by Martin, sponsor of the channel and owner of this fantastic Wargame store that is behind us. So, yeah, that was a good game to take part in. It was a bit of a thumping for the Space Wolves, but I was quite elite. I was quite elite choice on that one.
And bad dice.
And bad dice. My dice let me down so much. You know, it's just one of them things. Sometimes, like I said before, the dice gods hate you, and in that one, they really hated me. Units of the game for Nids, what do you reckon?
Gaunts.
Gaunts, yeah.
Gaunts just tied them Wolfen up. But I knew I didn't have necessarily the power to get through here, and with all the monstrous creatures, you were still going to be wounding me really simply. So it was, right, let's get rid of the Wolfen who've got all those stupid attacks. Keep spawning Gaunts. Hopefully didn't dry up, and I didn't. And the Tyranids kept spawning and spawning and spawning, never rolled a double all game. And it was just keep the Gaunts coming in. It was
just wave after wave, wasn't it? I think, yeah, you know, it was a bit of a pain. Unit of the game for the Space Wolves, difficult one. I might even say the Wolfen that were in combat with the Gaunts, because...
Yeah, they survived it, didn't they?
They did survive. They did survive quite a lot of combat with it, and every time you kill one off, Death Frenzy helped and all that kind of wonderful stuff that you get with...
Death Frenzy's nuts.
Ace. I like Death Frenzy.
Against any other army, I think... Well, against any other army and somebody else rolling dice, I think that would have been brutal, because you just bounce out of one attack into another. The move run assault is massive. You're getting such a big threat range.
Yeah.
Once you're in, you don't care if you die, because you're getting all the extra attacks back, and kill point wise, you'd have. If that had been it, Page the Alien, you'd have smashed the points on the game.
Yeah, and it's nice to see Nids back on the channel. It's been a little while since we've had them on, and while Nids are underpowered at the moment,
they're very lower tier codex.
They are a lower tier codex, but against quite an elitish army, they performed very well today. Your dice rolling helped as well. So bloody lucky, it was unbelievable. So yeah, it was nice. It was nice to see them back on the channel. So please leave us a comment, guys. Give us some feedback about the battle. What do you think to Martin's Nids that he took today, or my Space Wolf choice? You can be brutal if you want to be. I don't mind. Please leave us a like. It does help out the channel. Please go check out the Wargames UK website. There'll be a link in the description below. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.